Hey everyone, Mr. Surge here. I know every week I come to you with a book that I say I really love or that I'm really excited about, but this week I'm a little extra excited, and that's because we're reading a book by one of my favorite authors, Oliver Jeffers. Now, we've read a couple of Oliver Jeffers books during story times in the past. We read The Incredible Book-Eating Boy, and some of us even got to read Lost and Found, which is the story of a boy and a penguin who have to go to the South Pole. This book is about the same boy and penguin, and it's called Up and Down. And it's a really great continuation of the story, so I'm excited to show you what these characters have been up to since we last saw them. I hope you enjoy. Up and Down, written by Oliver Jeffers. Once there were two friends who always did everything together. Until the day the penguin decided there was something important he wanted to do by himself. Fly. He did own wings after all, although they didn't seem to work very well. But that didn't stop the penguin from trying. Nothing worked, and it wasn't long before he began to run out of ideas. The boy even offered him a ride in his plane, but it wasn't the same. The penguin wanted to do this by himself. After doing a bit of homework, it seemed like the odds were against him, and together they decided it was time to ask for help. Before they could ask, something caught the penguin's eye, and he knew this was his chance. In his excitement, he rushed off without a word, and the boy didn't know where he had gone. He looked everywhere, and even thought he'd found him for a second, but none of these penguins knew how to play his favorite game. Meanwhile, the penguin had found the right place and was hired on the spot. Finally, he'd get to fly. Suddenly, he realized he didn't know where the boy was, or how to get home. Later that night, when the penguin should have been excited, he couldn't help but miss his friend. Likewise, the boy could barely sleep for worrying about his friend. The next day, the boy tried to think of all the places the penguin might go when something caught his eye. He didn't have much time. The penguin's moment had come, but suddenly he wasn't sure about flying anymore. He wished the boy were there. Had his friend even noticed he was missing? But it was too late for thoughts like that. He took off like a bullet. The boy rushed in, hoping he could still catch his friend. The penguin couldn't believe how high or fast he was going, and he had no idea how he was going to land. He was terrified and missed the boy more than ever. The boy was there to catch him. The friends agreed that there was a reason why his wings didn't work very well. Because penguins don't like flying. The two friends made a break for home to play their favorite game. The end. So I think that story's great for a couple of reasons. I love the artwork. I think the penguin wanting to fly is a funny storyline. I love when they go to the zoo. And I think the story has a really important lesson to teach us about worrying. So we all worry about stuff. And in the story, the boy and the penguin are both worried when they get separated. They both stay up late, looking out their window, trying to think about what the other person is doing. And they're just kind of anxious. They feel kind of weird inside. And we get worried too. Worrying is something that everybody does, and it's okay to worry. But it's important not to let our worries become bigger than us. Our worries become bigger than us when they sort of take control and it's all that we can think about. It's just all consuming. We're just worried all the time. So there's a couple things that I really like to do when I get worried to make myself stop. The first thing I like to do is breathing exercises. There's a type of breath called the square breath. And it's where you breathe in for 4 seconds, you hold it for 4 seconds, you exhale for 4 seconds, and then you hold it for 4 seconds. And you just sort of repeat that over and over again. And when you're worrying, if you focus on your breathing like that and focus on making the square with your breath, then that can be a really great way to give yourself something else to focus on. I use that all the time. The second thing I like to do when I'm really worried is I like to have a thought stopper. So, a thought stopper is a tool that you can use to make yourself stop thinking about something. I know I know some people who like to use a image of a big red stop sign. They think of a big red stop sign in their head, and then they try and think of something else, and that helps them. For me personally, I like to snap. So when I'm thinking about something that's making me really worried, like if I'm on a long walk and it looks like it might rain and I'm not wearing the right clothes for a heavy rain, and I'm just worried, oh, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? I like to snap and tell myself to think about something else. And then it redirects your mind. So you can use a breathing technique, you can use a thought stopper, or you can just try and tell yourself that there's no use worrying about it and it's time to focus on something else, which is also a really important tool. But all of these techniques can help us when we're too worried. And just like the boy and the penguin in the story, our worries are a lot of the time unfounded. So the boy and the penguin are really worried about where the other one is, if they're going to be safe. And at the end of the story, they're back together, playing games, sitting around in their house. That goes to show just how often our worries are unfounded, and we like to make ourselves sort of anxious and afraid about things that aren't going to affect us. So, next time you're feeling kind of worried about something, I'd like you to think about maybe doing some breathing exercises, or maybe coming up with a thought stopper, or just reminding yourself of the boy and the penguin, and just reminding yourself that even if things make me a little worried, they're probably going to turn out right, because most of the time they do. I hope you have a really great day, and I hope you love reading this story as much as I love this story. Have a great week. Bye!